You know, the theory that everybody lives downstream is so true. You know, the river goes and goes. Stream health and water quality is about all we have is water. My name is Woody Platt. I'm a lifelong angler. I'm a bluegrass musician. I think I've always had just a real passion for fishing, and that way it connects you to water and to the outdoors. When I was 12 years old, my dad taught me how to cast a fly rod, and that changed everything in my life, really. I realized that there were hundreds of miles of fishable trout water right here in Transylvania County, just water everywhere.
We've got so many waters. It's over 5,400 miles and 2,600 acres, so you can fish in lakes, streams, rivers. It's an awesome place to be.
Once I visited, I just thought this was one of the coolest places on earth. It still does blow me away.
I think there's a number of things that make the fly fishing culture here in Western North Carolina unique. One of which is just the diversity of resources that we have. The kind of the breadth and depth of the culture is another part of it.
If you stop and think about it, there's not a lot of places left in our world that you can go and fish for native trout in their native habitat that are places that are relatively unimpaired.
You know, we have a huge number of outfitters, guides, fly shops. There's just a concentration of industry here that doesn't exist really in many other places in the country.
I feel really fortunate to be able to be here and to be in Western North Carolina, to work with those amazing waters, the amazing fish, and the amazing people that enjoy them as well. And it's just that connection to the people, to the habitat where the fish live, and to the fish themselves that has drawn me here and is going to keep me here.
Things that they need to survive and thrive in wild spaces are the things that are conducive to, you know, the health of the ecosystem as a whole. They need clean, cool water, the replanting of riparian zones. They need all of these different things that benefit so many other species. So if you have a healthy trout population, it's a pretty good indication that the ecosystem is doing okay as a whole.
When we decided we wanted to do a restoration of the stream on our property, everybody piled on, meeting Fish and Wildlife and Conserving Carolina, and it was really wonderful to see all these different agencies come together and sort of focus on doing, you know, one job collectively.
At Trout Unlimited, we pride ourselves in being good partners, and we have a really lofty and ambitious conservation mission. And we know that if we were to be siloed and thinking we're gonna just do this by ourselves, that we would be ineffective and we wouldn't get it done.
I think as it is with a lot of efforts to get more people involved in outdoor sports, the ultimate goal is to create more people who care about the outdoor space. And so creating conservationists is ultimately the goal of providing access.
If somebody falls in love with water and trout and the river, then they're more likely going to fall in love with protecting that.
It's not something you do to people, you do it with them. And so working with our local communities, working with our private landowners to ensure access that people can come fish, all those sorts of things are rolled up into the program where we're working together. And so part of that outcome is, well, what does that water mean to a town? What does it mean to the state or to a community? But along with that comes this other benefit where if we take care of the resources and provide these opportunities, there is this other benefit that comes in the form of the economic aspect. waters that we manage, those public mountain trout waters, generated almost $383 million for the state's economy. So there's a large number of folks coming from out of state to come here to fish. They're buying gas, they're staying in hotels, they're eating at restaurants, they're buying gear. They're doing all these other things that are around fishing to stimulate the outdoor economy.
If we can't take care of those areas where we recreate or where we're forming new outdoor enthusiasts who then become passionate about protecting these lands, then we can't grow the consumer base of new outdoor advocates to purchase gear or to hire a fly fishing guide to go fishing.
Orbis is ultimately a purpose-led organization. We're a family-owned company that believes very strongly in protecting the wild spaces that we love and creating opportunities, where they don't exist for people who maybe don't have that opportunity to engage with the outdoors. I grew up in an immigrant family. I'm a first-generation American. You spend a lot of time thinking about culture, about sense of place, about what that identity is. For a lot of first-generation children of immigrants, a big part of that journey is finding something that kind of defines your personality. And for me, a lot of that was found in the outdoors. I have a brook trout tattooed on my arm here. It felt like a way of claiming my identity as an Appalachian American, as someone who was made by the wildness of this place.
I guess one thing I would want to say about the angling public is that to remember that anglers come in all shapes and sizes and from all backgrounds.
It was like 2007. I came up here on spring break in March and they thought I was gonna go to a lake or something like that. I was like, I'm gonna go fly fish like in the Nantahala. And they were like, really? I think that was an anomaly for a young girl 15 years ago and, not great weather to want to go fly fishing somewhere.
When I started in 2014, my goal was to really get more women involved in fly fishing. And I just knew that it was kind of an area that wasn't well served. So I really focused on trying to create spaces where women could get into fly fishing, could ask questions, could feel comfortable in fly shops. More women were coming into the shop looking for gear that fit women. There was just this really cool synchronization of us trying to do that as well as the industry trying to create more opportunities, more gear to fit women.
We've been working towards women-specific opportunities, and in so doing, we've been thinking a lot about inclusion. Fly fishing has a high barrier to entry. It can be intimidating, it can be expensive, and what we can do through Trout Unlimited is bring down that barrier of entry.
You got to change internally to change externally, and we're starting to really see that kind of branch out into our chapters and really hoping to see more of it in the future.
Creating more equitable access to those spaces for everyone just creates a larger pool of people who care about it and ultimately can be those champions for those spaces in the places where it matters.
I've loved introducing my son to the water and to the trout stream and to the fly rod. And for me as a kid, we weren't tethered to social media, we weren't tethered to devices, so we spent our whole, all of our time outside. And I think it really shaped, who I am, and it shaped who I am as a father.
When you think about these resources, it may be a stream where somebody took a family member. It may be their connection to a parent, or it may be like a generational connection, like with native brook trout, that go back family member after family member after family member. And it's those kind of stories that mean so much to people that you gotta be excited about that. And for us, we wanna make sure those are as good as they can be, and we want them there for the next generation.
We want to make sure that everybody that walks through our doors has that sense of connection with our public lands and our rivers, then they want to honor it and they want to leave it better.
I I don't think overstate how important the trout streams and grouse woods have been to like my personal journey.
It's often more than just catching the fish, right? And so being out there, being in nature, being with friends and family, and that whole total experience of being here in Western North Carolina and everything that it offers, it just becomes a part of you. And for that to continue, we all got to be a part of it, and we all got to play our part and work together collaboratively to help the habitat be there and to help our quality of life be there, and to do all these things that make us move here, live here, stay here, persist in the future. So you can't be here and be a part of the mountains without having it being a part of you.